My name is Jessie Zheng, and I am a Rotary youth leader. When I stepped into this position at the beginning of my sophomore year, I wasn't expecting to grow so much from running Connecticut Speech in Action, a statewide Interact e-club rooted in civic engagement, public speaking, and youth power. In fact, I thought I was just stepping in to coordinate some logistics, plan a few events, send out some emails, something I could just put on my resume. But what I found instead was something much more powerful. A community of students who are hungry for connection, for leadership, and for purpose. The biggest lesson I've learned is that change doesn't always start with these big, fancy institutions. Instead, it starts with students who care enough to show up for each other. This experience pushed me to become more than just a facilitator. It challenged me to become a listener, a bridge builder, and a leader who leads from behind, empowering others to step forward. I had to think beyond my own town, beyond my own school, and to learn to navigate different communities, voices, and experiences from all across the state. We weren't just planning events, we were building something that many of us hadn't seen before. Youth leadership spaces that were by us and for us. We built infrastructure from scratch. We recruited students from towns across the state. We gave students who had never heard of Interact a leadership opportunity. We met virtually across long nights and even longer email chains. I spent hours learning how to manage systems that would make this club and this organization sustainable, not just for me, but for the next generation of leaders after me. We developed a website, curated statewide newsletters, ran advocacy campaigns, and organized trainings on our social media. Our biggest moment came when we were brought together in person back in November. Students who had only seen each other in Zoom boxes finally gathered side by side, sharing stories, building bonds, and learning together in our workshops. Watching students who had been strangers only months before run workshops, facilitate breakout groups, and lead community circles felt so empowering. And I had the honor of selecting our keynote speaker, Kendrick Moore, a powerful advocate and youth motivator whose work focuses on confidence and dreaming beyond what others expect of you. As he told us that day, more is required. I chose Kendrick because I wanted students to hear from someone who understood what it meant to rise up from doubt, to challenge limitations, and to lead with heart. His message wasn't just about success, it was about self-belief. And watching the way students leaned in, laughed, nodded, and stayed after to talk with him, I knew we had made the right choice. But planning these events wasn't a perfect process. We had to troubleshoot tech issues, chase down RSVPs, and pivot more times than I can count. But none of that compares to the joy of watching a student speak up for the first time in front of a room, or hearing someone say, "I didn't think I belonged here, but now I know I do." Since establishing our organization, we have had the privilege of hosting 4 conferences and participating in 3 competitions for our students to engage in educational discourse. And just recently, as many of you might know, we launched our biggest conference yet at the end of May, run and funded entirely by Districts 7980 and 7950. We worked tirelessly for months to plan, organize, and run, coordinating with Rotary leaders, inviting speakers, recruiting students, and finalizing every last detail of the day. And when it finally came time for the program to begin, I remember standing at the back of the room, watching students walk in, some nervously texting their friends, some with wide eyes. And I just took a deep breath. I felt proud, I felt a little terrified, but more than anything, I really truly felt this deep sense of gratitude for the students who showed up, for the team that built this with me, and for the Rotarians who believed in us enough to let us lead. And of course, the highlight of the event was having Daisy and Diego, 2 amazing musicians who shared their experiences and journey. Daisy led with this calm confidence and clarity. Every word she shared was thoughtful and sharp, and you could tell she had earned the respect of everyone in that room. Diego brought warmth and humor and reminded us that joy is a part of leadership too. And together they modeled what it meant to lead with both courage and kindness. Seeing them on stage representing not just themselves, but the entirety of the youth voice of our district was a highlight of the year. Each moment with my team, with students across different districts, reminded me again and again, students are capable of more than most people give us credit for. And when we're trusted with real responsibility, with real platforms, we rise every time. Because ultimately, this isn't just about organizing. It isn't just about putting something on our resumes. It was about building something that would last. Something that reminds students across Connecticut, across the nation, and across the world that our voices truly do matter. Now, let's hear from the students directly.
I am Mace Rizal from East Hampton High School. So I have one big project that I did with my Rotary is I was an exchange student. So for Rotary, I did the summer exchange program in Italy. And it gave me the opportunity to learn about different cultures, and I got to work with their community and just expand Rotary internationally and give my ideas and then hear some of their ideas from Italy. The Interact Club, one of my favorite parts of it is that I can interact with students from other schools. So that allows me to network, and not only network, but it gives me different ideas from their schools. Here today at Leaders for Tomorrow, the conference, I've been able to talk to students from other schools and hear about what they've been doing in their towns to promote diversity and inclusion. And I'm interested in taking those ideas and applying them in my own community, and I think it would be very helpful to do so.
My name is Casey Tam, and I'm from Amity Regional High School. Today was very inspirational for me, and I got a lot of hope and everything. I've always wanted to, I know it seems very ambitious, but I've always wanted to change the world. And I know change really takes a lot of time and a lot of numbers in people and everything. And it's always seemed very scary to me, and I just always felt like I couldn't do it. But I feel like from today, I really can make an impact. And I never really realized that before because I feel like I'm just one person and you really can't. But I guess today I learned that a ripple in the ocean will eventually cause waves, so yeah.
All right, my name is Mason Long. I'm a junior at Academy of International Studies in Bloomfield. First of all, November is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and I really want to recognize all the men who've been going through hard times, who don't really speak on things. We want to encourage them to, open up because, first of all, men aren't going to be as open as women about their feelings because they may feel that they're going to be shut down or it's not going to be really spoken about because they think, oh, I'm not important, so I might as well just keep in what I'm feeling. But what men don't realize is that all those things are going to build up, and just like a bottle, if you shake it up, it's going to explode. So you really got to speak on what you're feeling. Even if you're average is it's above half of the population right now. So if you want to be average, you go for that. But if you really want to stand out, you go above average. You do the things that you need to do. You want to put yourself out there, and you want to make a difference because you don't always have to be doing a lot, you just have to do a little that makes a difference because I believe that a little is more effective than a lot, and I believe in quality over quantity.
Hi, my name is Linda Chen. I'm from Hamden Hall Country Day School.
Hi, I'm Chloe. I'm from Hopkins School.
I think just the power it comes to when like-minded people are in one atmosphere. I've kind of realized that in the beginning I was a little bit nervous on if people were comfortable enough to speak about the issues that were important to them because sometimes they can be very sensitive. But I've realized that when you get a group of people who are have the same ambitions, have the same goals and the same passion, when they all want to be in this one space to just talk about these issues, people become a lot more empathetic to each other. And I've noticed that, it has, in the beginning, some people may have been hesitant on speaking up, but at the end of the day, I've seen a lot more people being able to get that confidence when they're with a bunch of other people who are able to foster that environment.
Yeah, I agree. I'm also really passionate about this conference specifically because when I was younger, I was very, very shy, very quiet. And honestly, if you told like 8th grade me that I would be doing this today, I don't think I would have believed myself. So I'm really glad that other young students are able to have this opportunity to connect with other people. Something that really helped me grow out of my shell was meeting people through CTSA, people who I now have influenced me a ton, and I'm really grateful to them for having brought me here, and I really hope that other students get the same opportunity through this conference.